want to talk about social media and whether it's possible to realise some of the ambitions that some of us had when we first got involved, possibly nearly 10 years ago now. I mean, I remember the early days of social media when it felt like there was a community of people who were trying to use social media for good. There's even more people these days trying to use social media for good, but a lot of the time it feels like we're in a very small minority. Now, a lot of the negativity about social media is, as we know, drummed up by the mainstream media, who see it as a threat to them and quite happy to make people feel negative about it. But we all know that trolling and hatred and all that kind of stuff is prevalent, if not dominating, the social media landscape. And I've long been optimistic about this, and I've long wanted to carry on carrying the flame for being positive and community minded on social media, and I'm going to carry on doing that. But I read an article in The Guardian a few days ago, and it was about some research carried out by Warwick University, which concluded that towns in Germany that had the highest levels of Facebook group use also had the highest level of racial attacks and attacks on migrants. And it illustrated this with a story about how a group of refugees came to this town and the community was relatively positive about it, and they'd organised support groups and all sorts of other things. But when they set up a Facebook group to coordinate their activity, that group was invaded by trolls and racists. Now, I don't know how many of those trolls and racists were local to that community, and it's very evident that there are groups out there that troll the internet looking for trouble to cause. But one of the things it says to me is that the efforts of people to be community spirited and community minded when they're face to face sometimes can get diluted by the people who like to hide behind the anonymity of the internet and spread hatred and bile. And the question is, how do those of us who want to be positive, who want to spread love and kindness via the internet, how do we cope with that? How do we counter it? How do we, are we fighting an unwinnable battle here? Are we trying to push water uphill? Now, I sincerely hope not, and I sincerely hope that we can carry on in solidarity between us, but it's not easy at all. And I sincerely hope that we can continue to be positive in these channels which offer so much potential. And I have very great faith in social media to organise communities, to organise mutual support and solidarity. But the truth is that those kind of communities are, it has to be said, open to attack by people with nefarious purposes. So how do we counter that? How do we stop? I've been part of some online communities which, very, very nice, but some people take offence because, just occasionally something can be said which, taken out of context, is capable of causing offence. And it's very often the case that the person who wrote it didn't mean to cause any kind of offence, and that can scupper a whole positive attitude. So I suppose what I'm saying is, how do we maintain our focus on using social media for positive good, mutual solidarity and support in the face of the onslaught of trolls? Something has to be done about it. Please let me know your views on this in the comments below this video, and please share this video. Please hit that subscribe button down there, because all of that helps me in my mission to use YouTube, social media, the internet to spread love and happiness. Please join me in that endeavour.